Okay. So I've been thinking a lot about perseverance and just kind of like what it is. We hear constantly on these calls, on, in the trainings and even the challenge groups and stuff like that, like how important it is to just keep going and to stay consistent and all these things. But without perseverance, it's like not possible. And so I looked up the definition of perseverance, and that's steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. And so I think we can see this in like every area of our life. Like, it's not just in business, it's not just in fitness, it's in our relationships, in our finances, in our spiritual lives, in everything. If we're not persevering, like, we're basically just not growing whatsoever. But at the same time, it's actually not natural. Like, it's not in our natural man to like want to push past that comfort zone. So I kind of just wanted to dissect this a little bit. I'm still gaining a lot of revelation on this, and I'm definitely no expert, but I'll definitely share like some things that have helped me in the process to just stay consistent and to just remember, why I'm doing this, why I'm going for what I'm going for. So, I kind of just wanted to dissect the different areas where perseverance is so important, and it's important everywhere. But because we're on a Beachbody call and I want to, talk about the team and us personally, I'll just touch on how perseverance goes with our lives, how and when and where it's important to consistently persevere, and even some ways of how we can do it, as well as, in how to persevere in the business and with other people and for other people. So yeah, it's going to be short, but let's see where we're going to go here. So I know that you have like dreams. I know that you're still, I know that you started reading your book, The Why. I don't know. Are you still reading that one?
I am, slowly.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, like, you're wanting to find out why you're doing this. Like, you have dreams deep inside you. And I feel like God's put in us like these like treasures, and it's like we have to like find them, and in seeking him we find them. And it's crazy because it's like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I discover things about myself and I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't realize I had that. And he's like, yeah, I was waiting for you. But perseverance is required if we want to be successful in going towards our dreams. And like I said, we don't want this naturally. Naturally, we want to stay where it's comfortable. Naturally, we find a comfortable spot and we want to stay there. But I don't know about you, I get really, really restless, even though I'm comfortable and I like where I'm at. It's like this like gnawing like tension within me that's like, no, there's more. It's like that feeling that you get when you go to your job every single day, doing the same thing, seeing the same people every single day. And that little voice in you that's like, there has to be more than this. Like, I just remember, my job, I don't mind it at all. I mean, obviously the kids keep me on my toes. But like when I worked at Starbucks, it was, oh my gosh, hey Jamal. So cute. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Sorry.
Party, it's okay. You're so welcome. But like when I worked at Starbucks, I was only there for 9 months. And it was like every job that I've had, where it was like you go and do the same repetitive thing every single day. It's just that feeling you get of like, no, there has to be more than this. Like, there has to be, because I don't know if I could keep doing this. So it's just that push, and that it starts with the desire. So in our own lives, personally, what does perseverance look like? So in marriage, going through the tough times, going through maybe the financial issues, maybe the, just like differences in opinion, differences in upbringing. It takes perseverance. And that's just basically moving forward, even though it's really uncomfortable, and you may not see, you know, exactly where it's going to take us or how it's going to happen, but it just requires that grit. And like grit, I think, is like the best word that I could possibly come up with for that. In our fitness lives, obviously, it's like not every day we wake up feeling like you just want to go lift weights or you want to go do cardio. It doesn't always feel good, but in order to like get to that goal, obviously we need to have that steadfastness, which is like the discipline every day, getting up, doing it, going. It's like, I don't know about you, but like I remember hitting a point in my fitness journey where I just stopped thinking about it, and I just literally turned on the autopilot and just did it. Because like I knew that I wasn't where I wanted to be, and this was like way back when I first started, and I knew that it wasn't going to happen overnight. So I literally just put it on autopilot and like didn't even think about it, you know. And some days are easier than others, and I mean, think about the people that have lost like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, you know. It's just like that's like intense. You know, and then the perseverance it requires to like to move forward in our spiritual lives, you know, to move towards those breakthroughs, like knowing that God has already gone before us, that he already has won the victory, but staying hopeful and keeping on moving forward in faith. Like Romans 12:12, be joyful in hope, patient in confliction, faithful in prayer. Like patient in confliction, like no, affliction. Sorry, affliction. That's not fun.
Like, oh.
yeah. In conflict, in battle. But it's just like things like that, you know. It's in those moments that we want to give up, where everything in us is telling us we want to give up and that we should give up. That little voice is like, oh, but no, this is just the beginning. This is just like that edge where you're going to actually see the breakthrough, where you're actually going to see this thing that you've been hoping for happen, like for real. And so I don't know like what it looks like for you persevering. Like, obviously I know a little bit about you, but like in your own life right now, just thinking of ways. So like even jot down like over the next couple of days, ways in your personal life that where does it look like persevering to you, or where have you been persevering? Where have you been kind of giving into that like feeling of complacency and that wanting to stay in the comfort zone? Because while yes, it is comfortable, that's not where we thrive, and that will never, ever, ever be where we thrive, like in any area of our life. And this is totally something that we're all on the journey with, but it's something I think that needs to be brought up frequently in order to really just stay sober-minded towards it, and to really just get the most out of life, you know, in every area. And so that kind of leads me into what does it look like to persevere in the business, but more so in the lives of other people. Because if we can't lock down what perseverance looks like in our own life, in our fitness, in our self-discipline, in our eating well, I mean, for the most part, we're not perfect, you know what I'm saying? In our financial lives, in our marriages, in our relationships, if we can't lock those down, you know, and I'm not saying perfect, and I'm not saying that it needs to like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like striving to be better every single day, because that's the only difference between people who are super, super successful and the people who are sitting on their pity pot victims over here, sitting at their desk jobs, hating them, complaining about everything. That is the only difference, is that these people chose to be a little bit better every single day, realizing that failure is only a part of it. It's not the end of it. And it's only it's a marker on the way to success. It's not a end. So what does it look like to persevere in business for other people, in other people's lives? And for me, thinking about that, it's inviting people, it's reaching out to people, it's talking to people, you know, regardless of how many no's we get, because it's like, what happens when people say no? Well, we can start to take that on and start to take it as rejection. And like, yeah, sure, it does sting a little bit, but the more you invite, the more you hear no, for sure. I literally hear no probably like 10 times a day, with this. And honestly, it doesn't even faze me anymore, because like now I'm realizing like, no, you just don't know yet, but I'm going to keep talking to you. And so for me in those moments, perseverance looks like, okay, you can say no, that's fine, but guess what? I'm still here. I would love to still learn about you, to still build a relationship with you, to still genuinely care about you. So that, inviting people, talking to people, just staying steadfast despite the outcome or not outcome of what you thought should have happened. In business, what happens when you don't know something? It's like, are we going to give up? Or are we going to research on our own, like get resourceful, to go into the back office and type in, to use Google, which is obviously like the most giant encyclopedia ever. So it's just like really moving forward and realizing that every little like setback or thing that would make you think that like you can't do this, or that you shouldn't keep going, or that you can't keep going, is really only there so that you can realize more of your potential and more of just how like capable you are. And so it's a major mind shift, but it's definitely one worth fighting for and going for. And so then also in posting, you've been doing a great job of posting and just getting really real with your posts and open about what's going on in your life. So you've been doing a great job. And like, that's what it means to keep persevering. It's like, do I feel like posting today? Yeah, no. Most days I don't, honestly, because it's just like, life can get a little like repetitive and all that stuff, but it's going forward despite staying steady, because yes, we are a business. Yes, people are looking at us every day. Does like Target like only open on Mondays, some Mondays, maybe not Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursdays, we're going to close early Friday night kind of thing? No, they don't. And like, if they did, they probably would not be as successful as they are. So it's like, we have to really adopt that mindset about the business if we're serious and we want to keep moving forward. And so basically it's like, really, I just want us all to kind of be thinking about, like, am I persevering in my life? Like, first of all, how am I persevering in my life? Congratulate, like really meditate on those things and realize like those are just like hints showing you that if you can do it over here, you can do it over here. Remember back to where you've come from, how far you've come, and realize that you are not done yet. So that means there's only more to go, even greater like things to conquer, even greater things to learn and to move into. So it's just really sitting and thinking about, how have I already been persevering? What is one way? Now, obviously, we are always a work in progress, and there's probably a million ways you could probably think of like, okay, I could do this, I could do that. Think of one thing that you can do this week that will move you forward and just having that persevering mindset. Maybe it's waking up a little earlier and just reading some personal development. Maybe it's tuning into more positive motivational things that will get your mind right, because honestly, the action without the mindset is crap, because it's really not going to last. And it's just busy work, to be really honest. So thinking of a way that you can move forward and really intentionally persevere this week. And remembering that motivation will never come from an outside source. Ever, ever, ever. It always has to be stirred up first within yourself and then spread to other people. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. That's why we're coaches. Like, we are stoked on these programs and shakes. Yeah, cool. But at the end of the day, like, we're motivators. Like, we want to show people like they're worth it. Like, for me, I get up because like I'm thinking of that girl that hates her freaking body, that today like she's so depressed and so discouraged, and like she's like not really thinking about suicide, but it's like not totally off the table. And she bases every single thing on the way she looks. Like, just a really, really cool testimony, like, and the power, because before last week, I didn't share like what I had shared about the day after the meeting or with Annie, you know, I didn't share anything about that before because like, it was just too real, to be really honest with you. But because of that, number one, like I got a lot more confident in my posting and just being out there and raw even more. But I got a message from a girl today, literally word for word, everything that I just told you about that girl, that's her. And she messaged me telling me, she literally, because I posted that and was very open and very vulnerable, she trusted me to come to me and let me know. I don't like to eat because I notice that I get bloated. I can't get on the scale because I think that's what I'm worth. This girl's drop dead gorgeous. I mean like Kardashian level gorgeous. Her body.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's how she feels. And like, that's real to her. And that's exactly where I was, you know? So it's like thinking about these things and realizing that our fears are their dirty little liars. And they're really actually the things that you're being lied to the most about are actually the ways that you're going to be used the most. It's just the stupid devil trying to scare you. He's really just a dog with no teeth. Can't do anything. He's stupid. God will only use him as a pawn. He's a created being. Okay. He has no power whatsoever. So it's like the very thing that you're being lied to about is actually the area that you're going to bring breakthrough to other people with. For, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else. But just be thinking and yeah.
Well, dang, girl. That was intense. That gives me a lot to think about. Shoot.
Do you have any questions or any?
No, I mean, I don't think I have questions. I think that kind of pulls some heartstrings for me. That hits pretty close to home in a lot of areas right now, kind of where I'm at. So this kind of gives me something I think I need to sit down, and I feel like every time we get on these calls, I'm like, oh, I have to sit down. I have to think about this. So deep. I haven't really gotten too deep with myself, you know, but, yeah, there's a lot I could persevere with. I mean, I do get very easily discouraged. Like, you know, I think I messaged you the other day. I sent one message to one person and I didn't get a response back for like 2 days. And I was like, oh my God. And then I finally got a response and then there's no follow-up response from her after that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to invite anymore. I'm not going to make conversation. But then, you know, I think about like, okay, so we've had a little bit of a conversation now and it may not go anywhere yet. Maybe later. But then I'm starting to get these other girls now who are messaging me. And maybe it's not Beachbody related yet. I know I'm kind of in that weird stage of being a coach, but right now it's like, wow, I almost forgot about you, you know, sadly. But it's like, wow. And I didn't realize that they were watching me. And so all this time, you know, I've been going through these kind of ups and downs, like when it comes to my own journey and how I'm thinking. And there's a lot of like mental struggle, I think, going on right now. And I don't want to post, you know, I'm like, oh, what do I post about? I don't want to get that deep. I don't know what to get deep about. And then I realize, you know, as I'm getting, you know, just like a couple girls have texted me and it's like, wow, I almost forgot about you. I didn't realize that you were watching and you were being encouraged, you know, I didn't realize that you were getting something out of this and you were seeing value in yourself. You realized it was okay not to be perfect. And I think this right here kind of pulls that string for me, like, oh, shucks, you know, I want to be so selfish. I've almost come to a place in life where it's like, oh, it's just easier to be selfish sometimes. It's sad to say that, but, you know, I feel like I can be honest here. And it's like, when I hear this, I'm like, it reminds me of how important other people are in our lives. You know, like I may be able to reach out to these girls and touch them, but you wouldn't be able to, you know, like you don't have the same relationship I do. And same with the people that you know. I don't have that same relationship with them. I don't have that connection that you may have with them. You forget that, you know, sticking it out and pushing and persevering, that kind of opens up that door of opportunity to talk to these people and share with them and love on them and show them God's love, you know, even to go beyond fitness. There's so much more to it. It's a relationship.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's so much more powerful. And I mean, there's so much more going on through my head. I won't get into too much detail now, but
Mhm.
we'll talk about it later. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's something I need to apply, and I have to be aware of areas I am persevering in. And I'll talk to you more another day, I'm sure, about my job right now. But that's an area that I'm like, I feel the exact same you were talking about earlier. So it's like, yeah, there's
Yeah,
whys being figured out, and that perseverance really kind of shines a light on that for sure.
so good. And
Mm.
I really think the book that I just read, The Rising Strong by Brene Brown, that helped me so much in just understanding like the power of vulnerability and the power of just showing up, and because it takes courage and it takes bravery, and what that does is it inspires courage and it inspires bravery in other people, and
Mm.
that is what is beautiful, because if that alone is all that I'm doing with this, like
Mm.
that is enough for me.
Wow.
And like it really does, because we look at someone else who's vulnerable and we think, wow, they're so brave, or
Mm.
wow, they're so strong, I wish I could be that too.
Yeah.
And we look at ourselves when we're trying to be vulnerable or anything like that, and we look at it as a weakness.
Yep.
Now, what is wrong with that picture? It's like it can't be one for one and one for the other. You know, it's because of the things that we have going in our minds and the mindsets that we've built, that we've subscribed to for so long, that
Mm.
really were never ours to keep, you know? And so it's like, no wonder God said, be transformed in the spirit of your mind. It's like,
Mhm.
girlfriend, get it together. That's where the magic is going to happen, okay?
Yeah,
You
much.
know? And so that book I think will really, really help. It is at the library for free.
That's the one I bought. That's the second
FYI.
book I bought.
Oh, you bought it. Okay, good. Even better. You'll have it forever.
Perfect.
But yeah, so I'm glad that that spoke to you. I mean, I know that that's been on my heart for a few days now. And I just think that it's really easy to, you know, this goes back to that compound effect book.
Mhm.
It's really easy to do the things that are required to get to a level that we want to get. It's
Yeah.
really easy to set our alarms,
Mhm.
to get up a little bit earlier, and to sit down and to message a few people a day, and to work out and to make a schedule. It's really easy to do those things because they're not like, oh my God, okay, let's go run a marathon today. You know, it's really simple things to do, but it's also very easy not to do them. And so it's being aware of every single day, what am I doing today that's going to get me closer to where I want to go? Because ultimately, if I'm not doing what I want to do, what I need to do to get closer, I'm actually moving farther away.
Yeah.
It's never I'm standing still. It's always one way or the other.
Yeah, isn't that true? And I love what you said about how our like in our minds, or like how we're, I don't remember how you said it, but basically like we're not programmed to want to push or challenge ourselves. And I'm like, the frick, that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. As soon as it gets a
Protection.
little challenging, I'm like, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, that's so true. I guess I never really realized it until you said it.
I have a video that I'm gonna send to you after this
Yes, send
to
it. I
blow
want
your mind.
to.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
because that's intense. That's so true. Just to understand too, like having that understanding of almost like how our minds work. It's like, oh, yeah, that's why I'm doing that. No
it's
kidding.
freaky, man. I was listening to a service, or as a message today from that church, Bethel, up in Reading, and it was all on character,
Uh-huh.
integrity,
Mhm.
delayed gratification, and how that's so important,
Mhm.
um, and just the importance of not letting, like, emotions are great servants, but they're horrible masters.
Mm.
And we've been taught to make them our masters
Yep.
in
Yep.
doing
Very
what
true.
we feel like doing, you know? And so, oh man, that was good too. That was on a podcast, but
Yeah. That's a really good point too. Those emotions, man.
they're like a crazy monkey. They need to be in the trunk, not even in the passenger seat.
Isn't that true?
Moving around. Shut up.
Oh my gosh, I like the way you think.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, girl, that's all I got. So thank you
Thanks
so
for
much for hopping
sharing.
on.
Oh my God, of course. Thank you for being so consistent. You're amazing. Your consistency is incredible. Every day I'm like, oh, there's Morgan again. Dang it. Okay. I gotta get on it. She's there again. Yeah, you're amazing.
I've definitely been thinking of, why keeping
Yeah,
that.
I can tell. You always bring it up like that. You know exactly why. You know exactly who you're thinking about.
I just like try to get in that place, of that really deep despair that I had.
Mm,
And I think because I know what it's like to give up in
mm-hmm.
this too, and realize, like, I remember being at Starbucks and working really hard because I'm a hard worker. Like,
Yeah,
that's just been drilled into me,
yeah.
like, ever since like I was really young. Like, my dad always, and my mom too through her actions, but my dad with his words and his actions,
Yeah,
you
same
have
here.
to be a hard worker. Like, there's no other way.
Mm,
And so whatever I do, I work really hard, and I worked really, really hard in Starbucks, and like, it sucked because like my hands were like 5,000 times worse than what they are now. Like, I had to wear gloves because I was bleeding everywhere.
oh,
I wasn't allowed to wear gloves, but I told them, I was like, if you want me to work and not get blood in people's coffees,
oh,
like, you
yeah.
will let me wear gloves.
Jeez.
So I wore gloves, but I didn't stop working hard because like, and I tried, with the slackers and all that, because I'm like, it's not fair, they
Yeah.
like, I couldn't, you can't uproot something like that out of you.
Yeah.
But like, I had so many moments of thinking, because this was after I started coaching. I had so many moments of thinking, like, I am slaving for
Mm,
someone else's vision, for someone else's dream, for some corporation. I get Starbucks is all about people,
yeah.
but it's someone else's like dream. I'm not free. Like,
Mm,
if I want a day off, it's like pulling teeth. Like, I
mm,
have to go through all these people to try to get a day off. Like, like, I felt so like trapped, and like had so many moments of thinking, gosh, I need to go back to Beachbody. Like, I
mm,
just kept thinking, I need to go back to this. Like, that's what I'm passionate about. Like,
yeah.
because I naturally just love encouraging people. Like,
Yeah.
that's so my jam. So like at
Yeah.
Starbucks, I was like, always like trying to walk around, encourage everyone, because a lot of people would be in really bad moods. So I'd like try to just like, hey, you're doing a really good job today. Like, hello,
Oh,
you just talk to that person over there. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Oh,
so I think that giving up, I'm
yeah.
not saying give up, but I think giving up and submitting myself underneath someone else's vision and dream, and submitting myself to a level of slavery, because that's what it felt like, actually woke me up to think about, why do I want to do this? Do I
Mm,
really believe that I can do this? And what do I see in other people that it's done? And like, do I believe that God can also do that for me? Because it was just an issue of faith, really.
mm.
And so, I mean, thank you very much for like all of your compliments and all of your encouragement always. But I think honestly, like, that's like my deepest heart in all of this. Ugh. But these car alarms. Like, thank you interrupting my call.
Ugh. Yeah, what the heck? The fact that you're sharing this. I mean, I know we're recording and I don't want to like make it like a 5-hour video, but
That's okay.
what the heck?
Actually,
Everything you just said, like that's what I'm going through with my job right now.
really?
Like I literally this morning it's okay, it'll turn off soon.
Yeah.
But I literally wrote in my journal this morning and I haven't like I used to write all the time and I stopped for years and now I just started. And I wrote in
Let
there,
me stop recording so that you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, this is a great call.